Man, oh man, that last one bombed, bro. Only one view, and it's only been like 4 days. I mean, it's understandable. It's only been 4 days. But welcome back to the podcast, Young Black Voices. Today's just gonna be my black voice in this motherfucker talking about fatherhood, especially and more specifically fatherhood in the black communities. So, if you like this type of content, well, let me kind of break down what is actually we talked about. We're going to be talking about the effects that not having a father has on a black child's life, and specifically in conjunction with man and female, and the subtle differences between the two. This comes from personal experience, court cases, well, not court cases, so yeah, give or take like court cases, many different psychologists, sociologists, and stuff like that. We're going to be looking at different reports from that end and so much more to kind of break down and digest this problem that we do have currently in the black community. It's not as big of a problem as maybe say like the crime rate or anything of that general nature, but it is prevalent and it is an amazing problem. So we'll get into that in this episode, and we're also going to talk about what it is to have a actual father figure in your life, and to be not dependent, but to have him show you everything about what it is to be either a black man or a black woman, and kind of give you examples of how you should be black in general. So without further ado, let's get right into the topic. Welcome. So again, in this episode, we're talking about the effects of having no father. That's the first topic we're going to talk about. So, and just for the record, it's going to be a little shorter episode. I will be compensating this one with another one that's going to go along with it, probably like Saturday or like late Sunday afternoon. I may just upload 3 this week just to kind of get you into the mindset of like the next topic. But a father, as stated before, is just basically being the male parent of. And specifically, I say male parent of because it's in same-sex relationships, especially when you have two people of the same sex. Generally, in a relationship and having these have serious effects, y'all. And I'm not even like joking. I'm not saying like this just because I'm male bashing. Last week I was on the women case. Now I'm on the men, bro. Like, I'm not gonna let y'all slide. I'm not letting anybody slide from being a neglectful parent. First and foremost, last week I didn't talk about this, but the lack thereof of, and it's real easy to say this about men because you often see that there's a lack of male presence in a child's life, and you could definitely see the results of that. Contrary to this, it's different for women, right? It's different for mothers. So I didn't touch on that last week. I'm gonna touch on it a little bit right now. So when a mother's not there in a child's life, it's like a lot, I want to say, different for in different cases. So say that you have, oh my god, guys, I ain't trying to yawn. I don't know why I'm yawning. All right, but say that you have this young black woman, right? 16 years old, and her mother is not there, just the father. You have this strong male role model that you see, that you, oh yeah, I could get in a relationship with a man, but you don't know how to be there or like kind of talk or interact with other females because you never had that same, I want to say not same, but same like role models that just your brothers would have. So that's just kind of something that is really needed, especially for a young woman. When you have a mother, pretty much when you have your mother in your life, you have somebody that's going to be your best friend a good amount of the time. This is not all the time, y'all. You got to understand that it's not all the time. But when you have a mother there, most likely they're going to be quite literally the best friend that you could ever have. In some cases, I don't know. It's different for every story. Now, on the contrary of this, without a mother, a son would be like less compassionate, more prone to be more defensive, more aggressive. More likely to be combative because he doesn't have that, not that sense of urgency, but that sense of, what am I talking about? Sense of femininity. I don't know, I said that all wrong, but femininity that allows him to be compassionate, allows him to be compassionate and caring. So, allows him to be compassionate and caring. That's what a mother's job and a mother's place to do is to be. Now, on the other hand, a father's place is to be aggressive, sturdy, and headstrong to keep the child or children in their place. Now, I'm not saying that a mother cannot do this. But I'm not saying that a mother can't be strong and sturdy and headstrong and all these other wonderful things that mothers can be, because mother can be whatever she wants to. But for it to work fully and effectively, you have to sit back as a mother and you have to think, this is a black child who thrives off of two, not one, but two parents, because at the end of the day, the genetics do play into this. You have the father's genetics, depending on what that is and how that affects the child. They're going to wonder. They're going to wonder why they're so aggressive, so aggravated, so frustrated, so hyper energetic. You have to look at a deeper meaning for all this. So, because however the father is, more so, as a child, usually translates to how the child will be in its early parts of life. So you shouldn't look at this as like, oh shit, he's just taking all this out of context, and no. What I'm clearly saying is that mothers can do it, but it's more effective when there's a father in the house, the fatherly role there, because you see that it keeps everything in balance. There's the balance to it all. It's not like you're just kind of crunching everything together and you just get flung upside the head and just like, oh sure, that's whatever. Or, well, that doesn't make sense. It's not like you're kind of crunching everything together and you're just flicking it up against the wall and hoping that it will land somewhere that you need it to be. You just can't do that with a child. You have to kind of give them like a bit of structure, and that's how you keep their mind focused, how you keep their energy low. It's how you kind of, well, not necessarily low, but you get the drift. So go into a report from, again, going back to the report, you got 1/3 of the black community fatherless. Whether it's male or female, it doesn't matter. Just 1/3 of them is fatherless. And this is a startling jump because in the past, some odd 40 years, you've seen, well, it's about like 60 years at this point, well, give or take, almost 60 years. So from 1960 to 2016, and it's probably going up a little bit now, but 1960 to 2016, it went from 8% of families of children, specifically having no father, to 23%. 23%. Now, granted, there's a few different reasons why this occurs. One, it could just be because they don't want to deal with the mother's BS, or the mother's not allowing them to see their children. That is a legit case. Now, some people don't want to listen to this, and they want to always take the mother's side of everything, but the mother is not always right. All right, the mother can sit there and she can spin a tale because she knows the child will believe it. A mother could literally piss on a child's head and tell that child that it's raining, and the child will believe her no matter what. Whether they knew that it was piss or not, they would believe it because they knew not to question mom. So for certain men, that's just the way out. And because they don't want to deal with the mother of the children, because they don't want to deal with the consequences of being with this woman, or the consequences of not being with this woman, they just skip out sometimes altogether. Or in the same token, they just get pushed out because the mother doesn't want them in the picture because he doesn't want to be with her, and it creates this whole conundrum, and he can't do this and this and the third. So there's just one thing that I'm going to touch on in a second. The second thing is because most of them are in prison. So imprisoning a black man is I guess the quote unquote best way to kill the black family, but it hasn't. So you still see it growing, but at the same time, you're destroying the black family because you are literally taking the cornerstone, one of the main factoring pieces inside of this community, inside of a black family, and taking it and incarcerating it for some odd 30 plus years. So by the time this child actually grows up and becomes a law-abiding adult or non-law-abiding adult, it doesn't even matter whichever it is, because he hasn't seen his father in like 30 years. He could probably barely even remember what the man looks like. He goes to see him, whatever, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever, gets a call from him randomly just to hear his voice. What kind of like mental blockade is, not even blockade, what kind of mental damage does that do, not only to the father, but to the child themselves? So you got to think about these things. You got to think about. And lastly, you just have people, young men, who just can't handle it. They can't handle the pressure. They cannot handle the fact that they have to get up, stop being dumbasses, and actually take care of a child. It's not as hard as you would think, but it's really hard at the same time. So you have those three reasons. So going, I said so too many times. All right, so going with the first reason, where you see that it's the mother's, I'm going to say the mother's fault. It could just be something that happened in the relationship that it just didn't work out, so they chose to end it. All right, cool. Chose to end it. Go on about your business. But now here's the mom saying you can't do this, that, and the third if you want to see your children or your child. And then that's where you kind of get into this baby mama drama and all this other things, because they're using the children, your children, to hold you captive so that you can keep communicating with them, so they can have advantage of it. They can take advantage of you. And what better way to get rid over this is just stop caring, stop going near the child. It's going to hurt, but sometimes it's just the best way, and just kind of step back, go ahead, get the courts involved, and just do your thing. Because women, they can be vindictive with it. They can hold that up over you and be like, yeah, you dirty dick motherfucker, you ain't seeing your motherfucking kids. And they just go off, and then this is the whole thing. It just doesn't make any sense, and is not really needed. On the contrary to that, it could just be something that is so stupid that it just doesn't matter, like a mistrust issue. So not being able to trust somebody doesn't necessarily, for me anyway, doesn't necessarily mean that they should not see their children. I may not trust you or the people that you hang around. It doesn't mean I wouldn't let you hang with my children or talk to them and interact with them in any way, shape, or form. I won't stop doing that once you've proven to me that you do not care for or respect my authority as a parent, number one, or number two, you just want to do heinous things to my children or make them seem like they're bad children. Nah, I don't go for that. Definitely don't go for that. But yeah, definitely, it's one of the biggest reasons, one of the biggest factors into why some men just can't be there, because the woman is not letting them. Another reason, again, incarceration. I don't even got to say that. That's self-explanatory. You cannot be a father to your children if you're locked behind the big house with the big doors, calling some other nigga daddy. You cannot be a father and you calling another nigga daddy in the penitentiary. Not specifically saying that you can't call it because you're calling this man daddy. Just you're behind bars doing all that. If you don't get it, you don't get it. I'm not about to sit here and explain it to you. It's self-explanatory. Then the last one, I want to just touch on it because for you men who are out there who have the conscious state of mind to ejaculate your semen specimen into the ovaries of a young Homo sapien female and then choose to opt out at the last possible second saying that I'm not ready to be a dad just because you do not know how to take care of your children or just whatever the case may be, because you've never had that type of role model in your life. To you, dear sirs, I want to say one thing. Actually, two things. Firstly, grow a pair. All right, grow a pair and pull out. All right. Now, granted, so many people could get on my case and start joking about my pullout game because I have 3 children and yada, yada, yada. But that's real shit. If you didn't want to do it in the first place, there's condoms. There's pulling out doesn't work all the time, and neither does condoms, but it's just not having sex if you don't feel like it, you shouldn't. And if you can wear a condom, put on a condom. It's not that hard to do. It protects you from getting AIDS and HIV, and it also protects you from a pregnancy that you may not have wanted. And it keeps a potential child safe because you don't need to have an abortion to get rid of a child. All right, so stop pitching that idea because it's not going to go well with some people, especially me. Number 1. 2, stop complaining about the fact that you're not in your child's life because your child when you weren't, your father wasn't in your life. That doesn't make for a good excuse. That just makes for the most piss poor excuse that you can ever have. Oh, well, I wish I could be in your life, kid. I wish I could do better for you, but that's just my dad. He wasn't there for me, so I guess I can't be there for you, even though I want you to succeed in the most opportunistic possible way. But we're just gonna not even care about that. So to you men who are like that, y'all some bitches. Like stone cold, dress wearing, panty dropping bitches. And I use the word bitch lightly. Well, loosely. Not lightly, but loosely. But, I mean, that's just how it is. At the end of the day, that's basically how it is. And I've spent a little bit too long talking about the deadbeat dads. But I just wanted to touch on that because that's something that is really a major issue. 1/3 of the black population. Keep in mind, in this entire country, we only carry 13 to 14 fucking percent of the entire population. So how the hell is it 1/3 of that population? Our children are without fathers. How is it that our children do not have the luxury that most other children have? Do you know that 3 times as many white children live in a single parent household? Oh, not a single parent household, but a double parent household that are both their parents are married when they're over or under the age of 18 compared to black children. All right. So just keep that in mind the next time you think about not putting on a condom or you're gonna ejaculate into this young lady. There's ways and methods to keep yourself from doing this. If you're not ready, don't do it. End of the day, end of discussion, flat out. All right, but for my gentlemen, I'm gonna bring my voice down. I got a little riled up there, but for my gentlemen that are in their child's life, good job, because there's so little of that, and it is increased as for what I've seen. I've seen a lot more people in their children's life, because I guess they're starting to figure out that's the key to the future. But whatever. So for those who actually are in a child's life, I want to congratulate you for going through all the bullshit that you can go through, because the mom may not be the best person to get along with, but you stick through it just for the kids, and I commend you. And I appreciate you, because I'm going through the same exact thing, my brothers. All right. So, it's really crazy. Going through the same exact thing as y'all. Possibly. I don't know what y'all story is, but leave it down. If you're a father, expect the father, what have you, just leave it down in the comments. Just tell me what you going through, what you trying to go through. I'll send my blessings over there to you, my brothers. But for those who are actually in the children's life, do you see the difference? Like, you can go out in the streets and you can see that little Ray and Bookie and Poo Poo and shit from down the block, they act differently because they don't have a dad versus your kids, or how you acted because you had your father in your life. You can see the differences. One leads to somebody being in prison. The other leads to somebody potentially being in prison. There's just a straight pipeline from having no father to prison for black men. And that's just the God honest truth. There's nothing more I can say on that. There's nothing less I can say on that. That's just how it is. I can't sit there and sugarcoat it and sit there try to tell you that this shit ain't real. This is 100% real, factual shit. And like, you could look this up on any website. You don't even have to look it up on any website. If you just go outside, you know what? Not even go outside. Hit West Florissant, right? Shoot down West Florissant all the way you get to like maybe Grand and West Florissant. You see a bunch of niggas down there doing what niggas do. Harassing and crashing every goddamn thing. Why? Because they did not have that structure in their life that a father provided. Most of them. Some of them were taught that from their fathers. But, hey, say it. I'll say it. And then, and that's another thing. So if you are in your child's life, don't try to teach them bad behavior. Whatever you've done, whatever mistakes you've made, they are there to learn from that to be better at life. So if you sat there and you went to jail a couple times and you were a thug and you were a gangster, you was all this shit, don't do it. Don't show them that shit too, because it's just gonna breed another generation of hatred and mind games, and it's not okay. That's something that you should not do. It's not healthy for the child's safety. It's not healthy for the growth of the black community. So I'm not gonna sit here and try to uphold in the bullshit anymore. Just stop doing it. Stop having your son come out sagging and having this in his head that you gotta wear the new pair of jeans, the Levi Strausses. You gotta have a Gucci belt. You gotta have the Gucci shoes. You gotta have the Gucci man purse. Gucci man purse. You gotta have the newest designer class. You gotta have the newest clothes, because the clothes makes the man. No. The man makes the clothes, not the other way around. You gotta understand that piece of fabric does not define you as a man, and your father should not teach you these things. Your mother should not teach you these things. For parents, just stop teaching your children that, because just because you wear just a $200 pair of Jordans does not make you better than the next man. It does not make you more intelligent, more high, like of a higher status. It doesn't mean anything. It literally means that you were dumb enough to go pay $200 that could have been well saved or spent on something that actually mattered in your fucking life, just to try to flex on niggas. Why are you trying to flex on niggas? And these niggas is just gonna be on some grimy shit and try to kill you for the same product. We need to stop teaching our children this materialistic shit and start teaching them actual values and goals and shit. If y'all really want to go back and see some shit about goals and values, go see episode 1 of the podcast. I did that over a month ago. If you haven't seen it, I'm gonna link it down in the description. Do it. like you have to teach these children values and goals, because other than that, they have nowhere to go. They have nowhere to turn to, nowhere to no way to function properly. What is wrong with you? Keep showing these children all this dumb shit, and you're not making it any better just by throwing a fucking screen in front of their eyes. Oh, cool! This little 12-year-old has an iPhone, but can't even read on the third or fourth grade level. It's the grade he's on. I'm tired of having my going online and kind of seeing comments of people who, I mean, not comments, but posts from people who clearly didn't graduate high school because they can't read proper English or even type proper English. But I digress. It's not on me. But it's because you parents, you don't teach them anything of substance. Any substance. You don't teach them anything that sustains them. You just teach them to go to school, act a goddamn fool, come right back home and do the same shit again tomorrow. These kids are coming out of these schools, reading on a fucking second grade level, coming out of high school into college. How the fuck did you go 12 fucking years? Some of y'all niggas ain't even do 12 years. Y'all did more than 12. How did I go 12 plus years and not even know how to fucking read past the second grade level? That's the easiest fucking level to read from. Stop it. Stop it with the bullshit, yo. Like, this is some dead ass serious shit. And I know this is me getting off topic of the fatherhood shit, but there's something that's really been weighing on my chest. Stop it. The clothes do not make the man. The clothes is just a materialistic form just to give you a higher prestige. And I'm going to say it again. The clothes themselves is just a materialistic form that gives you a higher prestige. Just because you wear this shit does not mean that shit is for you. Do not let the clothes wear you, but be the man who wears the clothes. That's it. That's all I got to say on that. But definitely, black fathers, y'all gotta step y'all shit up. I went hard on the women last week, and I do apologize for that. I went a little too hard on y'all, because I wouldn't even say too hard, but that's something that y'all really need to hear. And I'm about to tell the men some similar shit, because this is shit that y'all need to hear. Just stop being so narcissistic and stop raising your children to, when you are in your child's life, and stop raising them to be like, to walk around here like they God's gift to women. Nigga, no, you ain't. You are a man, just like me. That does not mean that every woman in this motherfucker wants you. That means there's a good portion of them that do, because of how you are. Because black women are just attracted to hood niggas. That's it. That's just realistic qualities of it. And that's generally because hood niggas remind them of what a father would be if a father was there. Yeah. Dude, so yeah, hood niggas remind them of a file that dude, man, didn't upload. But of a person, pretty much of a person that a father would be. Didn't really have a father would be aggressive, demanding. Well, not really demanding, but aggressive, and kind of like getting everything done and kind of being a little grimy with it. That's how some people are. So that's another effect of that. But yeah, bro, like, dead ass. It's not even like some shit that needs to be said and then it needs to be dealt. This is shit that needs to be dealt with right now, because if you're going to be in your child's life, at least try to make this child's life as best as possible. Make it as great as it possibly can be. And what are you going to do? You're going to teach this child to be the same amount of thug that you are, and they're going to be in the same predicament that you are right now. They're going to be 16, 17, 18 years old with a goddamn kid and not know what the fuck to do. They're going to literally be in the same predicament that your dumb ass is at, and stuck between a rock and a hard place. So do I continue to sell drugs, or do I start selling drugs to support my family, or do I just altogether just skate out of this kid's life because I don't want to I don't have time for the responsibilities? Don't worry. I'll wait. I'll wait for an answer. I will legit wait for an answer. Because, like, this shit is not funny. It's not cute. And it's not entertaining. You sit there and you let your child be raised for all intents and purposes, by you to be an ignorant, disrespectful, selfish child. And then you wonder why all this shit is happening. Then you wonder why shit like, oh, they're sitting there, they're getting bullied, they're getting abused, and they're getting all this other shit, and you wonder why. You shouldn't wonder why. It's your fucking fault. It's your fucking fault. Why are you sitting there wondering why? Well, you know what the fucking problem is. You know what the fuck is going on. It's your fucking fault. Quit fucking playing around and trying to be their friend, bro. You need to be their parent. That's just dead ass, bro. And I'm not like excluding anybody from this. This applies to gay couples. This applies to straight couples. Be on your shit. Compassion and everything is fine and dandy, but you gotta be hard on kids. You just can't let them motherfuckers do what they want. You gotta be hard on them. You gotta sit there and try to get them to understand and learn different aspects of life and not just be out here doing what they want. Because in life, you ain't gonna get what you want. But again, if you in your child's life, I thank you. I commend you. And I will forever commend you for that. But I'm not going to excuse you from the same bullshit. Because a woman could be in their child's life and still the child comes out fucked up. So I'll give you props if you in your kid's life. But it's your job to kind of try to adjust them by making them, well, not making them follow in your footsteps, but kind of showing them where you messed up in life and then hoping that they do better. That's the whole thing, is trying for them to do better than you did. Not saying that you should live your life through your child, but let your child live their own life and come to fruition as an adult, as you had to, learning from your mistakes, or your father's mistakes, or your mother's mistakes, whichever the case may be, but to learn from what you've done wrong and doing it right. That's just real shit. All right? So I don't want to hear no complaints. I don't want to hear no, yeah, rah, 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 all that other bullshit, bro. Like, listen. Just sit there and just, if you in your child's life, right, as a father, go ahead, just sit there and listen to your child, right? Just talk to him sometimes. And like dead ass, just talk to him, especially when it comes to black people, right? I need to talk to your kids. Because you never know what's going on in these schools. We can sit there, we could joke about bullying being a white people thing, but that shit happens in black schools. And most of the time when it happens, it's from the parents. So stop, I guess, assaulting your children verbally and emotionally. I don't know. And actually start paying attention to what's going on in the surroundings, in the environment around them. But all right, that's enough of that. That was just, but again, if just to kind of bring the tone down a little bit, if you are in your child's life, I will forever commend you for that. Just do the right thing and make the right steps to make sure this child's life goes as best as it possibly can. You got all these children out here saying, I'm living my best life. I ain't going back and forth with you, nigga. What? How are you living your best life when your ass don't even know how to fucking read past the second grade level? The fuck are you talking about? Fuck out of here, dude. Fuck out of here. But over that conversation, man. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stigma that goes along with it as well. At the same time, I've pretty much covered all the bases of that. So now I guess I gotta talk about gay men as fathers. I don't have much experience with this, but I know for a fact that it is something that is extremely hard on both sides, because you have two men who don't have like an innate bond with this child, because they're pretty much adopting, or they're just gonna like inject their semen into a donor, and like an egg donor, and then they have to carry the baby and all that rah. And that's just how it would be. But to sit and kind of go through all this and to be at the bottom of the food chain, especially I apply this to not even the lesbian women, but straight, but to homosexual black men, to be considered the bottom of the bottom barrel of the black community just because of how you are is very hurtful. And then to get the side eyes or weird eyes because you're dating a man, and then you and that man have a child together, not physically have a child, but then you get adopt a child or what have you, and you're seeing it's like, oh, they're gonna turn that boy gay and all this shit, and look at this, and you got all these niggas saying all this other dumb shit, but at the end of the day, there's no difference. There's legit no difference. At any time, both of y'all could split up, and we back at the same, at level one, wondering how we got here. So now I'm not excusing y'all from all the wrong things y'all do, but I'm not gonna get on y'all as heavy as I have been on everybody else, because again, I don't have much experience with this. So I'm sorry if I didn't go as hard on the gay couples with children and everything. I just don't have much experience with that. But with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, guys. That was pretty much all that I needed to say on those few topics. Gave a little bit of details on it, explaining how fatherlessness does affect and hurt the black community, especially our young women, because y'all kind of, it felt like y'all be lost sometimes. And it's not saying that, oh man, black women gotta have a black man. No, I feel like so many times y'all be a little lost because y'all don't know what to do sometimes, because you've never had that man put, like, trying to find like a relationship. You ain't never had a man that put his literal foot in your ass to get you to straighten out and be a better person, at least try to help you be a better person. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But I'm gonna go ahead and head out of here. Next week, definitely we're gonna be talking about being black nerds, black nerdom, and all this holy consciousness, man. Love it, love it, love it. I'm gonna be talking about all of that next week, and I finally decided what I want to do on March 5th. So March 5th, I'm actually going to be uploading the live broadcast that I'm going to be doing from Flow Valley on Tuesday, or the Thursday before that, pretty much the day before, kind of getting you prepared for different topics and a different direction of the channel as episode 10 comes out that following day. Yeah, 10 episodes in, man. 10 episodes in, 12 subscribers, and a good amount of views for myself. I'm not doing this for monetary gain. I'm just doing it to give my young black brothers and sisters a voice, so they can speak, so they can learn about something, so they can teach things without being harassed or being called, oh, you're being racist. You're talking about white people as if they don't matter. Shut the fuck up. But yeah, I'm out of here, man. Again, if you feeling me, if you loving me, go ahead and like me on, like this video, comment on it, say what the best part of it was, and whatever topic you want me to talk about next. I will be replying to comments. I don't want nobody ever comments, but I will be replying to the comments down below. On top of that, gonna be on Facebook, so if you want to go ahead and hit that, or you can hit the follow. I'm gonna leave that information down below. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna head up out of here. Remember, peace, love, all things great. And in the end, just never procrastinate. I'll see y'all later.